Howdy and welcome back to the Basement Club. Today we are talking about Persona 5, 5 Royal, and which game you should play first. I'll also give a quick rundown on what the series is about in case you're interested in getting this game in particular, or if you're interested in Persona Strikers, which would be a sequel to essentially both versions of the game, but I'll get into that later in the video. Now, let me answer some of these burning questions. Do I need to play any other Persona game? Luckily, no. All these stories are self-contained and you don't need to worry about playing Persona 4, 3, and unfortunately Atlus's Neglected Children 1 and 2. But again, if you're seeing ads for Persona 5 Strikers and it looks like a game you'd be interested in, then you should definitely play 5 Royal since it is a follow-up game to that one. Other than that, if you are in the market for great stories with deep themes, then I would recommend the older games too, but that's another topic for another day. What type of game are the Persona games? Persona is an anime JRPG that's turn-based with a light touch visual novel gameplay. Don't go in this expecting heavy action and crazy fights that require button mashing. There is combat, but it's more comparable to Pokemon where you take turns with your team along with the enemy team in attacking each other. It's more focused on the story as well as having lots of downtime where you get to interact with characters or do activities that'll up your stats. The game has a lot of interactions and feels like a real breathing world. You see events happen and you won't get the whole picture until you put the pieces together later in the game. So what exactly is Persona 5 about? Well, in Persona 5 you play as this transfer student that is rejected by society, so basically you in middle school. You also meet similar rejects and befriend them while finding your true calling and becoming a thief that steals hearts to hopefully change society. It's a big simplification of the entire story, but I'm trying not to spoil anything unless you played a Persona game before. I will add that these games do intertwine deep themes that really make you think as well as make the characters feel real and relatable. Now, why are there 2 Persona 5 games? Atlus loved to make their main base game, then release their remix or updated version of the game that has a huge content update and that changed the overall story as well, brush up the art and add a few improvements here and there. You might be asking yourself, what game should I pick up first, or does it matter? Personally, Persona 5 Royal is a definitive experience of the 2 versions, and definitely the game you should pick up first, and I'll go over some of the differences that make 5R a little better. Super quick editors though, just a heads up, I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that you level up the Counselor Arcana because it is super important if you want to unlock the new content. Unfortunately, my brother learned this the hard way, and that's when I found out you can actually get the original ending from Persona 5, so you won't get the Royal ending if you don't get the Counselor Arcana leveled up in time. So just a heads up, do that first. I'm moving on. First, I'll be going over some of the quality of life improvements that definitely help a lot in terms of enjoying the combat portion of the game. Something my girlfriend could have used so she wouldn't have smashed her control into oblivion, but that's besides the point. Now for the small quality of life improvements. The sneaking is easier by having you locked in place while being able to choose where your next hiding spot will be. The baton pass is unlocked from the get-go, unlike in the older version in which you are forced to hang out with everyone to even unlock it. It also has upgradable tiers, with each tier having a really good benefit such as damage boost and recovery. You also have gum and ammunition restored after each fight, so no more worrying about running out of ammo since some enemies are actually weak to gunfire. And unlike the old version, you now have loads of opportunities to restore SP through many different items. Then there is a rework of the art, making it more detailed as well as adding more facial expressions to the character sprites. Now there is also story related changes that add a little bit more to the game, such as the third semester. The new semester adds more gameplay and story changes that affect the overall ending to the game, which differs from Persona 5. Persona 5R introduced 3 new characters that are woven into the story and adds neat changes that are mostly seen in the third semester. Another change Persona 5 Royale adds is more backstory and a meaningful arc to an already existing character, unlike in Persona 5. The Thieves' Den, which is a cool addition that allows you to view cutscenes, artwork, location, and character models, even adds a layer of challenges and collectibles. This allows completionists to have a field day collecting everything available. There are other changes, but for the sake of not spoiling anything, I'm keeping it under wraps. Overall, Persona 5 Royal is a complete experience that I personally think you should start with, especially if you are interested in Persona 5 Strikers, and it is a follow-up to the events of the game. I can tell you that playing both has its perks. If you are the type to jump into the first iteration and then the second to really experience the difference, you won't see a lot of new changes. In fact, if you fail to do certain things while playing Persona 5 Royal, you can even get the original ending of the old version. Plus, if you play the old game, then the new one, you're essentially playing the same game since a good chunk of the new content is mostly towards the end of the game. You get some new changes and cutscenes here and there, but not enough to make Royal feel like an entirely new game. Honestly, play Persona 5 Royal if you're in the market to experience a nice 100+ hour story with improved art, a little bit more new content, and slightly better game mechanics, then this is your game. If you happen to be a lucky owner of a PS5, then more than likely you've already downloaded the PS Plus collection. Well, You're in luck. You can download the base Persona 5 game for free and try out the first mission or the first hour of the game. If you happen to like the game, then I would highly recommend playing Persona 5 Royal, whether on sale or not. It's a great game to play if you haven't already done so. These are my thoughts as to why you should get Persona 5 Royal, or if you happen to run into this video and think about getting Strikers, then congrats, you have found an amazing game to sink into. Thank you for watching the video to the very end. It means a lot to like, comment, subscribe, you know the drill. This has been in development for a couple months, so sorry if it was, all over the place, trying to keep it non-spoilery, and talking about a game like this without spoiling anything or showing too much is a little hard, but regardless, thank you for watching the video, it means a lot, and see you next time. Hopefully I could get Persona 4 done, and I have a lot of time in it. Probably put up a screenshot to show you how much time I'd invested in it, but regardless, I'll see you next time.